Howdy. So this has been a very interesting week for me. Okay, not me personally, actually for a lot of other people, but it touched me as well. At the beginning of the week, Blab shut down. Blab was basically a live streaming source where you could have up to 4 people basically talking to each other live. And you could have other people there watching. They could post questions. They could vote you up. I don't know if they could vote you down, but they could vote you up and all that type of thing. Anyway, Blab shut down. Fewer people started using it. It wasn't, all that engaging anymore. It shut down. Then I find out yesterday, and I'm doing this Wednesday night. It's going out Friday. But anyhow, I find out Tuesday that Google Hangouts, as far as I'm concerned, probably my favorite, is shutting down. It's actually moving to YouTube, and they're going to call it YouTube Live, but it's not going to be part of Google Hangouts anymore. I mean, Google Plus anymore. And so that's 2 things that have shut down. And obviously, they're not the only ones. I mean, we hear a lot about Snapchat, and we've heard some things about Facebook Live, but truthfully, a lot of these things are kind of diminishing somewhat. And it's this thing about live video where it sounds like a really cool concept for a lot of people. I've never really been big on it except when I was doing my interview series on, the Google Hangouts. And you can check out my thing here to the side where I'm just going to link to the playlist of all the interviews I've done, at least on this channel. I'm probably not going to link to the one on my other channel because I've only had 2 people who've taken me up on it. But, if you're interviewing someone and you've got kind of a good thing going or you have a plan, then live video really works well. But if that's not what you're really doing, then it's kind of hard to keep people interested. And so I'm going to talk about 6 reasons why I think live streaming is kind of doomed to fail. And it really is. And it's kind of unfortunate, but overall in general, it's still going to be around. But as far as the popularity for a lot of other people, it's going to fail. And these are just my 6 ideas. So the first one is a lot of people come unprepared. From what I understand, and I got to tell you the truth, I haven't seen a lot of these periscopes or meerkats or any of these other kind of things because I don't have Flash on my computer. I wiped it out a couple of years ago because stuff just kept getting in the way of things I wanted to do, so I totally wiped it out of my computer. So I can't watch those things online. But from what I hear, there's a lot of people who will just start the day. Hi people, how you doing? So today, I'm not sure what I'm gonna go do. Maybe I'll stop and get coffee. Maybe I'll have my nails done. Maybe I'll eat a couple of Whoppers. I'm just making that stuff up. But in general, people show up and they don't know what they're gonna talk about. They just wanna kind of highlight their day. I did see some people who've put together their Snapchats for the day, and you're thinking, wow, really? That's your excitement? So you come unprepared. Everyone thinks that their entire lives are exciting or interesting and maybe someone else will find it. Sometimes they're right. A lot of times they're just not. Which leads to number 2. Some folks just aren't all that compelling. If you happen to be an actor or a musician or something like that, maybe an athlete, people are probably going to keep coming to you because you're somewhat compelling. But if you happen to just be a regular person who gets up every day, maybe you go to work or you go to school, you're not necessarily all that compelling. You might have something interesting that happens during the day, in which case you pulling out your phone and talking about it would be kind of cool. But if every day you're signing on and there's nothing compelling about you, you're not trying to teach something, you're not trying to tell a story, you're just basically just talking random, who wants to see that all the time? They may check you out initially. You might have a couple of people who like you, but there you go. Next, there's way too many people doing it. When people found out about this Snapchat thing, oh my God, did it blow up? You know how much it blew up on Twitter, and I'm very big on Twitter. I love Twitter. People started putting their profile pictures with that Snapchat yellow background on it. I gotta tell you the truth, that freaks me out. It just does. And I keep thinking, why do you people have that? How does that highlight you on Twitter when the basic idea of Twitter, unless you're just there to have just fun and not do anything else, is to really highlight yourself more than highlighting Snapchat. I'm sure the Snapchat people are happy that you're promoting them, but that's just like on the back of your car where they have that grill around your license plate that says you bought your car at Fusillo. Yes, I just gave a pitch to Fusillo because it's the only one that popped in my mind. If you're living in Central New York, actually, I guess Fusillo is all over the country, so you're never really sure where it is. But, you know, if you're driving around with that thing on there, you're promoting these people who basically they just sold you a car and they don't really have to advertise. Although Fusillo does advertise a lot, but in general, a lot of other folks don't have to because you're basically telling them where you got your car. Well, that's what the Snapchat thing is. But there's people who actually have legitimate businesses who are on Twitter using that background to highlight themselves. Really? But anyway, there's so many people who are doing it that it kind of starts to dilute the stream, if you know what I mean. It's just way too much. No one can watch it all. Number 4. A lot of these things, they're there and then they're gone. One of the complaints I've heard about Facebook Live is that it doesn't really stay all that long. Now, I don't know if that necessarily means that if you do a Facebook Live, once you're done, it's never there anymore. But let's think about Facebook for a minute. Unless you have like a good friend and you like to go check them out after maybe you haven't seen their name in your stream for 2 or 3 months. Unless you're doing that kind of thing, something pops up on Facebook. It's only good pretty much that day or maybe a couple days, and then it's gone. And no one knows it's there, and no one's going to go search for it. The same thing kind of happens with Snapchat. It probably happened with Periscope. It probably happened with Blab. That's one of the reasons I like to do a video, is because 1, it's always going to be on YouTube. 2, I've got it tied in with all my other stuff. 3, I sometimes link back to other videos from my newest video. So, you know, you can always liven those things back up. And number 4, I actually keep a full list of blog posts and videos that I do, and I use that to help advertise and keep me going. With a lot of these other kind of things, you put it out there, then it's gone. So, you know, it's kind of temporary. It may give you a quick boost right now, but, you know, you might as well just be watching a live sporting event, you know, because it's gone the next day, but you don't have the same kind of memories. Number 5, you're not necessarily sure what those other folks are going to say in your video. Now, like I said, I was doing interviews, and I still want to do interviews with a lot of different people. But I'm very picky about the people that I do interviews with. Why? Because Mitchell doesn't cuss. If Mitchell doesn't cuss, Mitchell is not going to allow any cussing on a video that he does. So, I make sure that I talk to people. And I say, you know, most of the time I don't have to say to anyone, please watch your language, whatever, because I'm checking people out. I get to know them really well, you know, before I interview people, you know, at least a little bit well. But I let folks know, look, this is going to represent you and your business. You want to be on your best behavior. People who are looking to be on their best behavior are not going to say anything to get you in trouble. But you're doing something live. It may not be that they're using bad language. They may insult some group. It could be minorities. It could be gay and lesbian people. It could be older people. It could be almost anything. You're never really sure when people are talking off the cuff what they may say that could get you in trouble. For instance, this week, Usain Bolt wins the 100 meters, and Ellen DeGeneres puts a picture on her page showing her on Usain Bolt's back running, and a lot of people thought that was racist. I personally didn't, because I know she knows Usain. It's fun. Ellen DeGeneres. Come on, people. It's Ellen DeGeneres. Racist? You know what? You're looking just to be hurt. Still, it made a big splash in the news. So, you know, if you're never really sure what someone else is going to say, then, you know, that live thing could come back to bite you. I'm just saying. And the last thing, the numbers don't always support you doing it. For instance, I have a friend of mine who was doing a Periscope every single morning. And she's kind of in media. So she at least has a little bit of you know, juice going. And so she tried to talk me into it. I said, I ain't doing it, ain't doing it, ain't doing it. Well, then she stopped doing it. So I said to her, wait, I thought you told me that you had this group of people who were coming and you were starting to sell more books and you were getting more interested in the movies that you did. And she said, well, I'm going to tell you the truth. There are times when I get on there and I have a lot of people, but there's a lot of days where I may get 4 or 5 people. Well, that was nice of you to kind of own up to. You know, you don't always get the numbers. And if you're not getting the numbers and you're intention is really to try to drive a lot of attention, then maybe that's just not the thing that you want to do. Now, I don't know for sure. You know, I'm not really going to beat up on anybody who wants to go out there and do it. Heck, look at some of my videos. Some of the numbers I get on some of my videos, you know, you would probably say, why is this guy still out there doing videos? But I have some, you know, one of my videos has almost 27,000 views. I don't know why, but especially because that's not really the one I ever thought was going to get it. Still, you know, it happens. So maybe that's what a lot of folks are doing. They try to do these things hoping that they're going to get a lot of people, or, you know, is it Vine or Snapchat where people do like the 6-second videos, then they're totally gone. So it turned into kind of a sex thing where people, I don't know. You know, I really don't know. Even that's got to be kind of dangerous because there's always someone out there being able to capture what you did and then report you to somebody. So I don't know. This is my thing about the live streaming. If you're going to set it up where you actually have something to talk about, or maybe you're at an event, you know, maybe you're at a concert, or maybe you're at a picnic and you're sharing all this kind of stuff, or maybe you're actually recording the thing and then saving it later on to upload to YouTube or somewhere else, maybe your website. Cool. You know what? You build up your portfolio by doing things like that. But if you're not doing any of that, you know, maybe it's just not going to give you what you're hoping for. I don't know. You know, we are kind of a narcissistic culture, community of people. Obviously, I am because I'm doing some of these videos, but I'm doing the videos. I don't necessarily want to get on live unless I'm being interviewed. I don't mind live interviews. I don't mind speaking live in front of people. But for me to sit down and record myself live, no. I mean, I have recorded myself when I've been out on the lake, walking on the lake, and I've recorded a video, but that's not me live streaming. That's me recording a video live. I'm recording this live. I ain't dead. Look, I'm wearing an orange hat. I'm not dead, you know, but, you know, there's this difference between live streaming and, you know, recording live, and I just don't think it's really going to last all that long. I really don't. I could be wrong. So I put it out to you guys. What do you think of the Snapchats and the Periscopes and all these other kind of things? What do you think of the reasons that I just gave, which I'm going to put down below so that you don't have to remember it? Give me your thoughts on it. You think it's really got a chance to take off? You think it's in decline like a lot of the numbers say? Or do you think that maybe this is just something that I as an older guy won't get and maybe the young people will do it? Let me know. Anyway, I hope you have a wonderful day. Y'all take care.